Hi, everyone. Thanks for taking a few minutes to learn about ComplianceWorks. This is a service that we use here at the Federation of Community Leagues to help keep us up to date on changes in the legislative environment or changes to law that impact us that can sometimes be difficult to learn about. I'm going to show you a few ways that we use it that might be useful to you as a community league if you choose to subscribe to this service. So first, I'm going to show you the kinds of notifications that you can get. So one of the strongest benefits of this I find is I can set email notifications of changes that are upcoming or changes that have happened that come straight to my inbox. Now, once you're a subscriber, you can have as many of these notifications as you want, and you can have as many users in the system as you need to. So for my notifications, I get all of the legislative changes for Alberta and federally. And then for some specific things, I get notifications on all of the changes. And I'll show you a little bit more about that inside the system. But you can see here on the 17th last week, I got an email saying that there's some amendments that have been proposed. So these are upcoming changes for me to read about so that I'm prepared for those changes. And you can see that there's, for example, this hours of work change, and we can see that it's a federal change. We can see that there's 3 other federal changes. There's a change for BC. And then you can see there's some provisions from my watch list that have been updated. This means the changes have been made already, and it's things that are coming into force. Now we can see these are related to COVID-19, and we can see that this is for Quebec and for Prince Edward Island. I personally like to see the COVID-19 changes across the country so I know what's happening in other jurisdictions, because sometimes it gives us a little bit of a heads up of what might happen here. So let's take a more detailed look into what we'd see inside ComplianceWorks from one of these notifications. So this is what an update for a notification looks like. So I wanted to pick an Alberta specific one. This is for days of rest. So here we see a summary of what it is. So it shows how much time between shifts that people need at a minimum in a week. This gives you the basic information here. You can add a note or a reminder here if you want to do that. So if you want to come back and look at this later, you can add a reminder for this one specifically, and it would link you back to this update. Or if you wanted to add a note to research something, you could do that as well. You can also compare it to previous versions of the same legislation. And what it does here is it shows you the specific thing that's been changed. So in this case, what they've changed is this part here that's in green. So they've added a line saying that if this is different in a collective agreement, then that collective agreement takes precedent. If anything's been taken out or changed, you'll see it struck through in red on this side where it talks about the previous description. It also tells you when you can look at other older versions as well. So that is how you could look at an update. If you needed to, you could report a problem with this. So if you saw something that you knew was wrong or you had a question about, you could do that. And you could also compare it to other jurisdictions. That's very unlikely in your work. What I really like is you can customize within the system what you're looking at and the email notification that you get by any of these areas that they track. So accessibility, employment standards, and so on. Within them, you can track by the topics and screen by the topics that are there. You can look at specific provisions that you want to look at as well, and only look at certain ones. And then you can filter by jurisdiction as well. So let's say you also wanted to see federal, you could put that in. Or if you only wanted to see Alberta, you could search that. That's a quick introduction to ComplianceWorks. If you are interested in learning more and potentially subscribing to this, we'd love to look into getting bulk pricing for community leagues. So please fill out the survey linked at the end of this video. Thank you.